Have you ever felt like your university essays are just a total gamble? You put in all the hours, you do the work, but the grade you get back feels like a complete roll of the dice. Well, what if I told you there was a systematic, reliable way to hit those top marks every single time? That is exactly what we're going to break down right now.
Okay, that's a pretty bold statement, right? But it actually comes from someone who got a first-class grade on every single essay he wrote in law school. And honestly, it cuts right to the heart of that frustration so many of us feel. We work incredibly hard, but the whole process just feels random, inefficient, and, well, kind of broken.
So, if the old way is a joke, what's the punchline? What's the fix? Well, it turns out there is a formula. And it's not about being some kind of genius. It's just about having a system. And we're about to walk through that system step by step. First things first, you can't hit a target if you don't even know what it looks like. Now, that sounds super obvious, I know, but you would be shocked at how many students have no clear idea what their professors are actually looking for when they're handing out those first-class grades. And here's the thing, this isn't some big secret. The universities literally tell us what they want. It all boils down to these 4 pillars. 1, you gotta answer the specific question they asked. 2, show you have deep knowledge. 3, offer your own critical take. And 4, present a really strong, clear argument. So, we can take all that official university speak and just boil it down to a simple 4-step mission. This is our roadmap right here. Understand, research, have an opinion, and then argue it convincingly. That's it. So let's dive into the first one, which is maybe the most critical step of all. All right, step 1, deconstructing the question. I know it sounds basic, but this is exactly where the vast majority of grades are just lost, right at the very beginning, before a single word is even written. And here is the classic trap we all fall into. We're so excited to prove that we've done all the reading, that we just kind of dump all our knowledge onto the page. We end up completely missing the point of the question. We answer the question we wish they had asked, not the one that was actually on the paper. Let's make this really concrete. Imagine you see this question on your exam. What's your first instinct? For a lot of people, it's to immediately start talking about, say, the US Constitution or the British one.
And this perfectly shows the difference. The average student just describes a specific constitution, but the first-class student, they take a step back. They define the concept of what a constitution is. See, they're not just showing what they know. They're showing they can think abstractly and actually answer the very specific prompt they were given.
Okay, so once you have totally nailed the question, it's time for research. But, and this is important, this isn't about just passively reading. We need a system, a way to organize our thoughts and build a powerful argument right from the get-go. Okay, this is a total game changer. It's called the Minto Pyramid Principle. It's a framework that top consulting firms use, and it works perfectly for essays. The core idea couldn't be simpler. You start with your main answer, your thesis, at the very top, and every single thing you research is just there to support that one single point. So here's how you actually do it. At the very peak of your pyramid, you write your thesis, your one-sentence answer to the question. Then, right below that, you lay out your main supporting arguments. And under each of those, you slot in the specific evidence, the quotes, the data, the facts from your research. This way, every single piece of information you gather has a clear and obvious purpose. All right, now we get to the part that truly separates a pretty good essay from a genuinely great one. You've understood the question, you've done your research, now it's time to add that secret ingredient, your own critical analysis.
And I want to be really clear here. This isn't just some small detail. According to our source, this stage is the single biggest factor that decides whether you get a top grade or just an average one. It is that important.
So what on earth is critical analysis? It sounds so intimidating, doesn't it? But it's really not. It just means you're engaging with the material. You're addressing the counter-arguments, explaining why you think they're unconvincing, and connecting your ideas with what other academics are saying. And here's the best part. You don't have to be a world-renowned expert. The key is just to make what they call a decent attempt. And finally, we get to the actual writing. Now, if you followed all the steps so far, this is, believe it or not, the easiest part. All the hard work of thinking and structuring your argument is already done. Now you're just assembling the pieces based on your blueprint. Here it is, the #1 most important rule for clear, powerful writing. A weak essay tries to be a mystery novel, right? It builds and builds until this big reveal in the conclusion.
A strong essay does the exact opposite. It puts the statement first. It tells the reader the answer right in the introduction and then uses every single paragraph to prove it.
And because that introduction is so absolutely vital, here's a little guideline for you. You should be spending about a quarter, 25%, of your total writing time just on that one section. Seriously, if you get the introduction right with a clear, upfront thesis, the rest of the essay practically writes itself.
So it all comes together in this beautiful, simple blueprint. Your intro directly answers the question and states your thesis. Your body paragraphs are just you turning those Minto Pyramid research points into sentences. And the conclusion? You just summarize your argument and restate that thesis you declared right at the start. Simple. And here's a little pro tip for you, straight from the source. A lot of markers will actually flip to your conclusion first. They're doing a quick scan to see if you really understood and answered the question. So you better make sure that conclusion is crystal clear and it directly mirrors the argument you made from the beginning.
So there you have it, a systematic plan to turn that terrifying blank page into a first-class essay. It's not about magic, it's all about method. So the next time you get an assignment, don't just dive in and start writing. Stop and ask yourself, what is my one-sentence answer? What is my argument going to be?